Okay, so today we're going to start covering usage. Usage is basically just words that we use all the time, but that we misuse very commonly. And so we're going to do 5 of these every week for the next 5 weeks. Then we'll do a little review. Then we'll do a little test. Some of these you may know really well already because you just are naturally great at them, or you've really thought about them because it's been a trouble issue for you, and so now you've got them down. But the rest of them might be something that you have struggled with or that you just need a reminder of. So I want to make sure that you leave high school without having to make these same mistakes over and over again in college or whatever it is you do in the future. So the first one that we're going to look at is affect and effect. They sound very close to the same, obviously, unless you pronounce one as effect really hardly. Affect is basically this. It's a verb. Effect is a noun. If you can remember cause and effect, that's a noun. So how do they look in sentences? Your decisions now will affect your future. That's a verb. Your future is affected. Again, that's with an A by your decisions. You're not going to see effected really ever. Effect, since it's a noun, it's usually going to follow an article. Something like one effect or the effect of your decisions might be a lifetime of happiness. So again, affect, a verb, effect, it's a noun. It's and its, they are sounding exactly the same. You either have it with an apostrophe or without an apostrophe. And if it has no apostrophe, that means it's a pronoun. So a pronoun is, again, a word that takes the place of a regular word, a regular noun. A man lost his mind, but a bird lost its worm. So its is usually used for things that we don't identify necessarily as male or female right off the bat. And then it's with an apostrophe just means it is. So it's not cool to still misuse this word at your age. So every time that apostrophe is in its, it means it is. Fewer and less, they're very similar words, but they're used totally differently. Fewer is for things that can be counted, and less is for things that can be measured. So you have fewer eyes than fingers, and there are, even though you can't count them, fewer planets than stars. I happen to have less intelligence than my sister. We can't count that. It's just a measurable thing. Said and says. So this is a problem in my family. Said means past tense. Says is third person form. So you should say, I said to him that I would be there. If you got an old father like mine, he often says, so I says to him, I says. It's not good English. Doesn't sound great. We can't change him. He's almost 70. And when you're going to use says, it just means it's a third person form of say. So Bob always says he should just get a car and leave. Bob's been married too long. Finally, the last one I want to cover today is could care less versus couldn't care less. So this is one that you actually hear, not see so much misuse. Could care less means you could still care a little bit. So if you say, I could care less about you, it means that you still have some feelings for that person. Maybe you still care about them a little bit. So you want to be harsh. You want to say, couldn't care less. This means that you are all out of you know what's to give. I couldn't care less what happens to you for the rest of your life. All right, so those are the 5 usages that you're going to look at this week. And then when you go to Schoology, you'll see a little usage assessment for you here. And it's just 10 sentences with those words in drop-down menus. And how I've set it up this time is rather than just having you get to half and then giving you the rest of the points, you have 20 chances to get a perfect score. So you're going to get the score you get. You're going to get the highest score you get. So if it takes you 20 times to get a 10 out of 10, so be it. So hopefully it takes you a little less time than that. But go ahead and do as many times as you need. And then we'll see you next week for usage 2.